and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Hegfreeze. Today I am bringing you two new and really awesome entitled parent stories. Keywords include wedding, divorce, phone theft, and extremely spoiled kids. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories. Entitled Aunt wants me to give everything to my cousins. So, backstory. This happened years ago, so I might miss some details, but I will try to make it as close to reality as possible. So yeah, my birthday. I have known this aunt for a couple of years now after my uncle divorced his first wife and they didn't marry despite having two kids, my youngest cousin and his sister. So when I turned 11, they came to our place. Me, V, Steve, my uncle, not his real name, lol, EA entitled aunt, B1 brat 1, B2 brat 2. I was excited. I was turning 11 and my parents decided to have a small family gathering as my birthday party. I didn't have many friends and the ones I had couldn't come, but I didn't mind being around adults. My EA and Steve arrive and it begins. B1, 2, 3 years old and B2, 5, 6 years old run past me into my house without even saying hello. My EA smiles and looks at my stunned mom. Mom doesn't like confrontations and she just shrugs it off. Apparently, EA didn't bring a gift or didn't plan to give me anything because she just looked at me, said happy birthday, walked by me with my uncle looking at her rather annoyed. She just shrugged. I was confused. Steve was wearing a necklace at the time, so he was like a freak, unclasped it and gave it to me as a birthday present. It was a golden thin necklace, but it was pretty. I didn't mind it, was very happy and showed it to mom quite excited. I saw that the EA gave me and Steve a glare. I was confused but didn't care, I just wanted to celebrate. Well, my plan was to enjoy some food and sweets as we talked and look at the cartoons, but nah, the conversation goes like this. EA: well, V should look after B1 and B2 while we enjoy some food, right? Mom: they can stay here with us, right? Mom looks at Dad, who is too focused on the conversation he has with Steve and just says, you know best, dear. EA: no, my kids are too young and I don't want them to hear our adult discussions. We can stay with them in the other room. Mom looks at me and I look at her. At that point I was rather annoyed but couldn't say much, seeing the position Mom was in. I didn't want to cause much ruckus. I just shrug it off and walk away with my cousins in the other room. I have to mention that around 8 I got my first computer, big square box mate. And around 11 I got my first phone. It wasn't amazing, a simple phone that was used for calls only. My parents gave it to me to have a way to call home in case anything happened at school or if I decided to stay at my granny. But yeah, continuing. So I had that phone on the desk beside my computer. I wasn't going to let it in my school bag at all times, so I put it out. My B1 sees my computer and lets out a squeak. He runs to it and pokes it around. I assumed he wanted to play, so I turn it on and put him on the chair. While I am doing this, my B2 sneaks behind me and grabs the phone. I only notice it when I hear her laugh. I walk towards her and ask her to give it to me, which she just shakes her head and hides it behind her back. B1 is turning around in my chair. It was an empty office chair, spinny, and I rush to him before he hits something or himself. Meanwhile, B2 is walking back to her mom with my phone. EA: oh, what do you have there? B2: I took this toy from V. Mom: that's not a toy, it's her phone. EA: isn't she a bit too young for this? Mom: not really, she's just using it to let us know where she is. EA: B2 likes it, shouldn't you give it to her? Mom laughs and thinks it is a joke. Mom: oh, I'm sorry, you have to ask V for that, it's her present after all. B2 looks at her mom and her mom looks to me but says nothing. Grabs the phone from B2 and puts it on the table beside her. She says something to B2 which mom doesn't hear, nor do I, because it was really quiet and B2 comes back to me smiling. Now, that's when I remember that I left my 2-year-old B1 on my PC. Oh freak. I go back to my room to see B1 smacking the mouse on the desk, annoyed that he died in the game. He was playing Hugo Island or something like that, really fun game. Me: hey, stop that! B1 starts wailing and tries to get off the chair but falls from it on the floor and starts screaming more. EA and Mom rush into the room and EA looks at me. EA: what happened? What did you do? I was pretty scared and didn't say anything. EA rushed to B1 and scooped him off the floor while glaring at my mom Due to pressure and embarrassment, mom gave me an ear for leaving B1 alone. That finishes quick and cake time arrives. I take out a toy of mine and start playing with it. Around 11-13, I was pretty obsessed with these potato-looking bodies who were actually balloons filled with flour thing with smiley faces. They were pretty cool and good stress relievers. As birthday present from a good friend of mine was a yellow body like that. B1, who was sitting beside me, and Steve sees my toy and gets interested. B1, give! I looked at him and said, oh, sure, and gave it to him. He played with it for a while and I forgot about it as time passed. Cake happened and well, they sang happy birthday and I was about to blow my candles when EA speaks. EA, B2 wants to blow the candles. She should do it. You're too old for it anyways. I look at her, Dad looks at her, Steve face palms slightly while holding B1 and Mom just glares. EA just shrugs and says, it would make him happy. Everyone stays quiet and I'm just too embarrassed to even say anything. I just say sure to dissipate the tension and B2 jumps and blows the candles. Pretty sure she also spit slightly all over my cake as she failed to blow the damn candles, but 11-year-old me just didn't care no more. I walked to the kitchen with no excuse of washing my hands and Mom saw me and followed me. She knew I was depressed and just hugged me, saying that next year they won't invite Steve and EA again. We returned to the room and I ate some sweets. I didn't want cake as it didn't feel mine, so I just ate some cookies. Finally, it was time to leave. Steve was totally gonna have a huge blown argument with EA and Mom was just tired as I was. That's when I remember B1 didn't give him my yellow body anymore, since suddenly Mom notices that my phone wasn't on the table anymore. Mom, hey EA, have you seen V's phone? EA, no idea. B2 runs behind EA and I notice the phone. I tell Mom and she tells Steve. Steve sees this and just snatches the phone from B2 as she starts yelling and crying, throwing a huge tantrum on my floor. EA looks in disbelief with a Karen face. How dare you do this to my child? Steve just gives Mom the phone and then I point out that B1 is still holding my toy. EA, you should just give it to him, he will start crying, you know. Steve tries to pry it out of his chubby hands but B1 won't have it. He digs his nails into the poor thing. The harder Steve tries to pull it, the harder B1 squeezes it. Finally, Steve manages to pull it out of B1's hands but with a bad ending. The toy is torn and the insides fall on the floor. B1 starts wailing and throwing a tantrum as well. Both kids cry and EA is visibly annoyed. Steve looks at me apologetically and gives me some money to buy a new one. They leave, EA saying nothing, just carrying the crying B1 as Steve grabs B2 and walks out of the door. We can still hear the kids wailing from miles away. I am just left like that, end up helping Mom to clean and go try to buy another body like the one I was gifted. Long story short, it was limited edition and they didn't have that specific one anymore. Bought me another green one and went back home. That's how my day ended. Entitled Mother and Daughter Ruin Wedding Proposal. In this story, I'm going to leave out some details and things that were said, mainly because most of it gets off track from the point I want to say and are just rude and childish for me to explain and mention. This happened a few days ago, last week. It was the first warm, sunny day we had in a while, so my friends decided to go to the park and hang out. It was Saturday and most of us didn't have work that day. We bring some food, a football, having a good time. There are also some families, people walking on the trails, kids at the swings and jungle gym, etc. Just a nice day. We are at the picnic table eating, having dessert, when a friend suddenly stands up and says he has something to announce. He then turns to his girlfriend that he has been dating since grade 10 and proposes with a ring. Surrounded by friends in a beautiful scenery, lovely time and place. His girlfriend gets all teary-eyed and says yes, hooray! We cheer and congratulate as he puts the ring on her finger. A little while later is when Entitled Mother and Daughter walk up to us. Entitled Daughter must have been about 10 or so years older than any of us, and it amazed me how she acted like a 5-year-old wanting a toy she couldn't have with her mother. They approach us and for a moment I think maybe they are congratulating my friends. Nope. EM. Excuse me, may I ask a favor? We all look at each other confused. The BF. Sure? EM. Could my daughter have that ring? Now, I have heard some pretty dumb things in my life and have dealt with entitled mothers before, but this one takes the cake as the most ridiculous. The BF, what? No! The entitled mother doesn't take that as an answer and continues talking, saying that her daughter needs the ring. EM, when my daughter's ex-husband proposed, he didn't give her a real ring. She needed the real one to look like a real bride. It ruined her whole wedding and marriage. It shocked me that the woman thought my friend, all of us at that table being broke college students, would have enough money to buy a real wedding ring. He wasn't either. The BF, well, I'm sorry to hear that, but she can't have this ring. Another friend, wait, you said ex-husband, right? Why does she need the ring if she's not even married anymore? ED, because the wife gets to keep the engagement ring even after the divorce. Everyone knows that's silly. The girlfriend, but why do you need my ring? ED, I'm reaching my 30s. It's too late for me to find love and marry again. I need a ring to remind me that I'm still worthy. Me, but what about the ring that you got from the divorce? At this point, I kind of found it hard that she had never been engaged at all. ED, because it wasn't real. I need the real one. The girlfriend, well, this ring isn't real diamond either, if that's what you're looking for. Another friend, no college student can afford that. The entitled daughter then tried to take hold of the girlfriend's hands, I think maybe to see the ring by the look on her face of shock when she was told it wasn't real, or maybe to take it by force. But we had enough of her and all told the mother and daughter to leave. As they left, the mother yelled at all of us and told my two friends that their marriage would be a train wreck. Another friend, not as much as your gold digger daughter's marriage. This set off the entitled daughter. She didn't charge us, but she looked like about to. I have never seen a grown woman have such a fit in her life. She threw a tantrum for a good 5 minutes before stomping off. It ruined the rest of the day for us, but my friends are still strong and are planning to marry later in the year after they graduate. There we go, guys. That was everything I had for today. I will be back tomorrow with a new video. Let me know which subreddit you would like to see here on my channel. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe. Peace.